everyone, welcome to EduTap and welcome to this very first class of computer knowledge for NABARD Grade A 2025 examination. Students, in this particular class will focus on the topic Introduction to Computer. That means in this particular class we are going to learn about the basics of computer knowledge, a little bit here, a little bit there, but yes, we will try to touch on all the important parts of this particular topic. And in coming parts also, when we'll read about the computer hardware, computer memory, all these things are related to computer knowledge, but yes, there are some things that are a little bit extra that you should learn about, and that particular thing we will read about in this particular class. But before that, if you guys are preparing for this examination but you guys have any doubt related to any topic, you can download this ultimate guidebook that you will be able to find in the description box. Here you will find the decoded syllabus, you will find the PYQs, you will find the important topics, overall syllabus, and the most important part, strategy for your examination. With limited time, this guidebook is going to save you time and is going to be a lot help for your preparation. So do check it out in the description box. Now start students, in this particular class, first we will focus on understanding this topic and then we will do 15 MCQ to understand this topic even better. Now starting with the very first question that should come in your mind, that is, what is computer? When we are talking about computer, what we are going to think or what we are going to talk about? So when we are talking about computer, computer is basically a programmable electronic device. Now understand these terms. Programmable means it's a machine that can be programmed to do your task, that can be programmed to follow your instruction. We will have a program running. Now what is a program? That we are going to learn very soon. It will be electronic. Electronic means this particular device will run on power. Okay, it need to have electricity, it need to have some kind of battery to run, and then it's a device, right? So when we are talking about a programmable electronic device that can do three basic tasks, that means it should be able to do arithmetic and a logical operation. Yes, arithmetic, that means related to plus, minus, into, divide, mathematical operation, and logical operation, your or, not, these kind of operation it should be able to do. Okay, then storing and retrieving the data, whatever results you have obtained, a computer or a machine that is able to store those data and is able to show you those data again or show you that result again, that means retrieve data, that is also your computer. Then it should also be able to execute your instruction, whatever instruction you give, whatever you ask them to do, be it any mathematical operation, be it noticing someone, be it preparing a PPT, or be it related to Excel sheet, it should be able to execute your instruction. Then you will call that machine a computer. Okay, that is why whenever we think about computer, we think in that term. There will be a monitor, there will be a CPU, there will be a keyboard or a mouse, but your computers can also look like this. All right, your computer can be your mobile phone, portable device. Your computer can also come in the form of tab. Even in some cases, like your vacuum cleaner, your washing machine, those can also be called as your computer because those are electronic. Those have a program. They can execute your instruction on, uh, you know, washing your clothes. They have a program fit in them. Okay, so all these are, in a way, they are computer, but yes, for your NABARD examination we will focus on this typical computer that we have always thought ki only those are computer. Okay, now whenever we are talking about computer, it is very important for you to learn about the milestone computer. It was not like ki, from the very beginning we had computer, we have monitor, we have mouse. No, it was a very long process. Then we came to look at modern computers, then we came to understand their functionality and make them more functional for us and more capable for us. Now the very first computer that was a milestone computer was Mark 1 computer developed by Howard Akins. Now in this particular computer we used to have electromechanical component along with the punch card that it used to read. Now what happened, at that time for census we used to have punch cards, something like this, and those punch cards have various punches at certain places that will represent something. If the punch is here, it will represent ki the gender is female. If the punch is here, that means it represents the education is up to 12th, things like that. All right. These are the things that were there in computer and that we were able to understand there. Now to understand the significance why this particular computer is important for your examination, for that you have to see the significance of that computer. Now Mark 1 was the first general purpose electromechanical computer, although we had Mark 2, Mark 3, those other version also, but the milestone was set by Mark 1, so you need to only focus on Mark 1 computer. After, the next milestone was ABC, that is Atonsoft Berry computer. Now this particular computer was developed by John Vincent Atonsoft and Clifford E. Berry. Okay, this particular computer had the feature to solve a linear algebraic equation. This particular computer was developed for a certain task, and that task was to focus on the mathematical terms. Okay, that means arithmetic equations, algebraic equation, these kinds of things. Now here the important thing is we use capacitor for storage. Even in today's computer, you will see when we'll talk about the RAM, other type of memory, we will have capacitor. Okay. Now it was the first electronic digital computer, although it didn't have the program. We had to feed the program again and again to run it. But it was first electronic digital computer. Then we had ENIC. ENIC was electronic numerical integrator and calculator. Now it was developed by J. Presper Eckert and John Mauchly. It was first general purpose electronic computer and it had the component of a vacuum tube. With ENIAC we started using vacuum tubes. Okay. Again, you know what happened here? Again we were very focused on the numerical problems, because at that time all the computers that are getting developed, they were somewhere around World War. Okay. And at that time various institution were focusing on using space, using more and more complex machineries, more and more complex weapons. So at that time the mathematical equation became a very important thing. So be it Soviet Union or be it America, be it any other country, they all were focused on developing even complex machines. Okay, so that is why you will see in very starting we were not thinking about where we can use that machine. We were more focused on how our machine can solve even more complex problem, how we can bring our machine to take us to moon or take us to space. So at that time you will see we were only focused on that particular part. Then after that we have ADVAC, that is electronic discrete variable automatic computer. Now here please do understand the full form that I am reading, those are very important for your examination, you will have to read them. After that, developer you also have to remember, and significance and key feature, yes, they will help you to understand the question. So that part also you will have to do. Now after that we have ADVAC. So ADVAC, again it was from Eckert and Mauchly, same developers we had. It was a kind of a successor. Then this particular computer was using a binary system. That means at that time the language we were using was machine language that uses two digit only. Okay, so with ADVAC we had binary system and the stored program concept. That means to run your computer you don't need to use the program again and again, again and again. You don't have to rewrite them, rather you can just write them once and store it. This particular concept was introduced. Okay, and with this we also introduce internal storage for instruction. Then after that we have ADSEC. ADSEC is electronic delay storage automatic calculator. Now this particular computer was developed by Maurice Wilks. Okay, and this was the first practical stored program computer. Now very important thing to understand here is it was based on von Neumann architecture. What is von Neumann architecture? In this particular architecture we say computer don't need to have separate store program and separate data program. That means programs and data can be stored together in computer. Okay, so that is basically your ADSEC. Now here it laid the foundation for modern computer programming. That is why we take it as a milestone. Okay, after that we have UNIVAC, that is universal automatic computer, that was developed again by Eckhart Mauchly and Eckhart Mauchly computer company. Now since you can see the ADVAC, ADSEC, ANIC, ADVAC, Eckhart and John Mauchly are kind of an expert to develop computer. Now here they are thinking ki how we can put computer in each home. They are thinking how we can expand the horizons of computer, and with this we had UNIVAC, that was first commercially available computer. This was the first computer used for business and administrative purpose. Now after this with Intel 4004 we had a revolution. Now, you know, Intel 4004, when we are talking about, we are actually talking about the microprocessor. This is the basics of every computer in use in this age. Now, when we are talking about Intel 4004, we are basically talking about the small chips that you know made the computers or even laptop, mobile phones, tabs, all those things possible. Because in early computer, you know, when we are talking about ENIAC, EDVEC, they used to have a processor that can fit over a room. Yes, it will take a lot of space. So with those big of a processor, using mobile phone was not possible. With Intel, what happened, we bring the processor to a chip, and with that chip, everything, portable devices become possible, portable computers become possible. So this particular computer, when we are talking about, this was developed by four scientists. Among them you can see some names also. Now this was known as MSC 4 set. Okay, this was the name that was put. And with this, what happened, modern PC, modern computers become possible. Now, one important thing we will have to see is a Turing machine, because in the examination the question have also been asked here. So it was developed by Alan M. Turing. Now this was the theoretical model of the principle for computation. It lay foundation for all the modern computer algorithms. Beside this, Turing, when we are talking about Alan M. Turing, for breaking the Enigma code, he is also known as father of modern computers, modern computing. Okay, so this particular scientist you will also have to remember, Alan M. Turing. Okay, now let's talk about generations of computer. Why, when we have discussed the history, we are talking about generation? See, students, what happened after few year gaps, like 8 year, 10 year, what happened? There is large revolution in computer. Okay, this is something that can change the very generation, and it can bring a change that defines the generation itself. So that is why we have classified computers into generations. We will see from first to fifth generation. Right now we are in fifth generation. Okay, so the very first generation was in time period of 1946 to 1959. Now main feature here is we had vacuum tubes, the main component used for processing, that had vacuum tube. Okay, and the language used was machine language. These 2 points especially you will have to remember. With first generation, the component used and the language used. Then after that we have second generation. In second generation, vacuum tubes were replaced by transistor and magnetic core. The language was assembly language that was used in the second generation. In third generation, we had the component integrated circuits replacing the transistor from the second generation, and the language was high level languages. Now this particular point you will also have to understand and also have to remember very well. With fourth generation, from 1971 to 1980, we had VLSI circuits, very large scale integrated circuit. Those are basically microprocessors. So if somebody asks from which generation you can see the microprocessor, you will say the fourth generation. And the language used now was the problem oriented fourth generation language. 4GL is fourth generation. Now with fifth generation, that started in 1980s, we had ultra large scale integrated chips and natural language. That means whatever language human used to interact, English, Hindi, Punjabi, Urdu, Marathi, Telugu, Tamil, every language that we call natural language. Okay, that humans use to interact. And you know, even when the computer uses machine language, we can interact with the computer in the natural language. Okay, that is the goal, and the answer we get will also be in the natural language. Okay, now there are some basic terminologies that you will have to understand when we are talking about introduction to computer. The first one being data. What is data? See, data are raw facts. Let's say you are doing census and you are just collecting the data. You are just asking everybody how many kids you have, what is your age, what is your name, what is your profession, these kind of questions. So what you are doing, you are collecting data. After that you will feed data somewhere, it will get processed. What will happen? The data will get processed. Okay, and it will get converted into the information. Now information is the useful form of data. Okay, that the information is the part that we can use. Now if we are talking about census, we can say after you have collected the data from, let's say, 30 household, and in whole country there are 30 households. So totaling the total population, totaling the data is the information, or separating it based on the gender, rather than saying ki how many females and males are living in a house. Now you have the total data ki on in those 30 household how many females and males are there, so that is information. Okay, then we also have programs. Now I already have told you in the very first slide, when we are talking about program, what we are talking about, these are sets of a set of instruction that are given to computer to finish any task. If you ask your computer to make you a sandwich, so instruction are: cut the bread, okay, spread the bread, heat them up, cut the vegetables, put the vegetables over it, put some sauces or mayonnaise over it, then put some whatever filling you want, be it cheese, be it lettuce, anything, then close it, then heat it up again, and your sandwich is ready. So what you have done, the task you have given, or your instruction was to make burger. Now whatever set of instruction are further required, those are called as program. Okay, so your program, main program you can call is make a sandwich, and whatever required for it are the instruction. Okay, then we have hardware. Hardware are the physical component, again very important for your exam, we will do that topic. Okay, and software, when we are talking about software, hardware if you are talking about, these are physical component, you can see them, you can touch them. Software are inside the computer, you cannot touch them, you cannot see them. Okay, these are again the program together make software. So software program are interchangeable also. All right, now if we are talking about the computer, how it works, or and on what cycle it works, so we have input unit, CPU unit, output unit, and storage unit to run a computer. First we have input unit, that is responsible for inputting. What is inputting? So what happen, whatever data you have collected from the user, you are the user, so whatever data you have collected from you, it will be transferred to computer, and it will be transferred into machine language also, so that your computer can understand. So that process is inputting. To feed the data to machine is inputting. Okay, after that we have central processing unit. Okay, when we are talking about CPU, this is the brain of the computer. Now one thing you will have to remember, in CPU we will have ALU, arithmetic and logical unit, we will have CU, that is control unit, then we will have the register. Okay, these are the things we will have. ALU will be responsible for arithmetic and logical processing. So you want to apply some process, you want to do plus minus into divide, you want to do comparison operation, you want to do the bit shifting operation, for everything the actual doing will be done by ALU. Okay, actual processing also. Then CU will control everything, be it your input unit, be it your output unit, be it your storage unit, be it the CPU itself, ki ALU and register, everything is controlled by CU, that is control unit. After that we have registers. Registers are the small memory that work very close to ALU, CU, and overall CPU. These are the small pockets. So these pockets, just like our pockets come in our jeans or our pants, similarly with CPU, the pockets to store anything are called as register. After that we have output unit. Whatever result is obtained after processing, that will be displayed to you by output unit. Output unit do outputting, that means it show you the processed information. It can show you in visible form, just like in monitor. It can show you in a hard copy form by printing it out. It can show you in form of audio through microprocessor, not microprocessor, sorry, through the earphone or headphones. It can show you in the form of sound through speakers. So all those are output, that means they are generating result and they are converting it to user friendly form and showing you. Okay, lastly we have the storage unit. Now storage unit is responsible for storing. What it will do, whatever result is obtained, do you want to keep it temporary in the primary unit? Primary unit mein we have RAM and we have ROM. In detail we will discuss it, again a very important topic, and we will discuss it in detail. Then secondary unit mein we have magnetic unit like HDD, tapes, floppy disk. Then we have optical unit like DVD, CD, Blu-ray. Then we have SSD, that is solid state unit. In this we have the pen drive things like that. Okay, all those are example of secondary memory. Primary memory, secondary memory is a part of storage unit. Okay, now if you are talking about the types of computer, I'm not going to explain you in detail everything, but yes, the main one I have added here. First, we have the types of computer based on the size. We have microcomputer, we have mini computer, we have mainframe computer, and we have the supercomputers. First of all, microcomputers are our own computer. You know, if we are talking about our PC, our laptop, our mobile phone, these all will come into the microcomputer. These type of computer usually support only one user. These are for personal use. They don't have a lot of computing power, but they get the job done for a single person. Okay. After that, we have mini computers. Mini computers, you can think कि, okay, these are a bit powerful, these are a bit more usable, and these are a little bit expensive also, so that is why they are used by the organization where a lot of processing is required. After that, we have mainframe computer. Those computer can handle a lot of volume. So if you want to do 1000, 10,000, 1 lakh type of processing in few minutes, so for that you will use mainframe computer. Okay, these are used by banks, these are used by airplanes. These computer are again very popular. But yes, mainframe computer have a good computing power also, but they are more likely to handle the volume rather than complexity. For complexity, we have the most expensive, most fast, or the fastest computer, and these computers are also most powerful. So these computers are supercomputers. In this, they are used for weather forecasting, they are used for research, and these computers are the bestest. Okay. Then on based on the purpose, we have two types of computers: the general purpose computer and the special purpose computer. General purpose computer refers to computer that can be used, by anyone. General purpose computer may we have the computer that are basically PC, laptop, they can be used by anybody. Special purpose computer we call ATM, because ATM, you and I cannot use ATM to make PPT, you and I cannot use ATM to play games or something like this. They only have one special purpose, that is to withdraw money or to submit the money. Okay, so only for that purpose they are, that is why they are special purpose ATM, special purpose computer. And calculator lies in the same area. After that, based on the data handling, we have analog computers. So analog computer are the computers that show result in a analogous form. That means you will have a hard copy, you will have a chart, you will have a graph to see the result in the analog computer. You will not have a screen where the result will be visible. Then after that, we have the digital computer. Digital computer, basically the computer that we use today. We type something and we see the result over the monitor. Lastly, we have the hybrid computer. Hybrid computer are basically computer that are mix of analog and digital. So they will have a physical component also, they will have a digital component also. So just like the ECG machine that give you, chart like structure to show you heartbeat or so. But yes, it will also show the same result over a screen. Okay. Now, if you're talking about computer languages, we have low level languages and high level languages. Low level languages are the languages that are very close to computer itself. Okay, so here we have machine language that is represented by 0 1 0 1 1 1 0 0, like that. Only two symbols are used. On the other hand, assembly language, if you are talking about this particular language or assembly language, use mnemonics. Okay, with this particular language, assembly language, you will see word like this, you know which is a bit easy to understand than completely like this. Okay, this is very difficult to understand, but yes, if we are reading move, we know mov is move, so that means something need to be moved, so we can understand it a little, although very difficult, but yes, a little bit better. So these two languages are low level languages. On the other hand, we have high level languages. Okay, so there is some confusion. So high level languages are basically the languages in which we basically have, just I'll just rub it out. Basically we have object oriented or the function oriented. Okay, these are the languages we have: object oriented, and don't worry, I'll correct it in the PPT that you will be able to download. Okay, PDF where you will get, it will be corrected. So object oriented and function oriented language. Object oriented languages where the base is object, and function oriented languages are where the base is a function. Okay, then we have language translator. So language translator, we have three. We have compiler, interpreter, and assembler. Assembler, if we are talking about, this particular translator is responsible for converting assembly, because it's assembly language into the machine code. Okay, similarly when we are talking about interpreter and compiler, these two are responsible, these two both will have one task: to go from high level language to machine language. But what is the difference here? Compiler, what it does, it read your whole code. This is file with code. It will create a executable file code, and then it will convert the whole file into low level language at once. So it does the task in one go. On the other hand, interpreter, if you are talking about, this is the document. So what it will do, it will read two lines, it will read one line, then it will convert it. Okay, then it will read other line, then it will convert it, then it will read third line, and then it will convert it, then it will read fourth line, and then it will convert it. So this is basically the function of interpreter, that will convert the high level language into the machine language, line by line. Now after that, let's talk about the softwares. So software, a little bit I have told you, these are the set of instruction, data or programs that will help your computer to run very smoothly, that will help your computer to complete the task that you have given them, or to fulfill your instructions. Okay, now when we are talking about software, we basically have three types of software. We have system software, application software, and programming software. System software, if you are talking about, we have operating system. Operating system basically makes your computer working. So operating system, you can take the example of Windows. Okay, we have the example of Windows. So they, without any window, you cannot control your hardware. Your computer will not turn on. Your computer will have no graphics, no picture, nothing to click, no password, just a black screen. So that is why operating system are very important. After that, we have utility program. Utility program basically helps your computer to run very smoothly. If you are talking about the backup, if you are talking about the disk defragmentation, those are the example of utility program. Device driver basically helps you to run or control your hardwares very carefully. If we are using mouse, if we are using keyboard, we all will have device driver for that. Language translator we have already discussed, but yes, it's a part of system software. Application software, if you are talking about, we have general purpose and special purpose application software. General purpose, take the example of MS Word. Everybody can use this software. On special purpose, if you are talking about, uh, take the example of inventory. We have the storage inventory softwares. These particular softwares are used by hotels or used by the canteens. We cannot use them. We don't need to put up in inventory, and then we don't need to see ki, okay, what is finished from my house and then reorder it, these kind of thing. Okay, these have a very specific purpose and used by very specific thing. Lastly, programming software, these basically are the software that will help you to write either application software or system software. So these are the software that helps to write other types of software. Okay, I hope this is very much clear. With this, we have touched upon all the important topics from this particular part. Let us do 15 MCQs to now practice the things that we have just read. Okay, the very first question: which of the following best defines a computer? A mechanical calculating device, an electronic device that processes data into info, a digital storage medium, a tool for internet browsing, a smart machine for gaming. If you guys are confused, let me tell you, calculators are doesn't make a whole computer. For computer, we need to have a particular type or a particular thing, that is to ability to convert data into information, that means to do processing. That is why option B will be the correct answer. Moving on, who is or are credited with inventing ENIC, that is ENIC, that is electronic numeric integrator and calculator, which was capable of solving complex numerical problem? Basil Pascal, Charles Babbage, J. Presper Eckert, and John Moseley, John Napier, or IBM? The correct answer will be option C, that is J. Presper Eckert and John Moseley. This is a direct type of question that, if you remember, you will have to do. Okay, moving on. A computer processes data into information using a set of instructions known as dash: algorithm, machine language, program, procedure, input device. So you will have to tell, if we are talking about computer, and what we are doing, we are using a set of instruction, what do we call it? The correct answer will be option C, that is program. Programs are basically set of instruction that will help us to fulfill any command that we have given. Now, Which of the following is true about the main difference between data and information? So difference between data and information, you will have to tell. We have discussed this. Data is meaningful, information is raw. Data is raw, information is processed. Both are the same. Information cannot be stored, data cannot be stored. The correct answer here will be option number B, that is data is raw, information is processed. Okay, we have discussed this one. Now, Alan Turing, who is best known as the father of artificial intelligence and computer science, helped to break which German encryption machine during the World War II? Okay, and the options are Cipher, Enigma, Lorentz, Hydra, yeah, ARPANET. The correct answer here will be option B, that is Enigma. Now, which type of computer is used for weather forecasting and scientific research? Understand this, student. When we are talking about weather forecasting or scientific research, a lot of things are variable. Things are changing, and there are a lot of variable. You will have to see the wind speed, you will have to see the pressure, you will have to see the rays, you will have to see sunset, you will have to see sunsets, sun rays. You will also have to check. You will have to consider the geographical situation as such. You will have to see the chart in history, what happened there. Then only you can reach the data, and that is why computing power required for this type of task is very high. Only one type of computer can do it, that is option number C, that is supercomputer. Now, computers are often categorized into different generations based on the technological advancement, capabilities and design. These generations are typically distinguished by significant changes in hardware and software architecture. Which of the following generation of computer introduced the use of integrated circuit? The correct answer here will be option number C. Okay, with integrated circuit was in the C in first generation. We had the vacuum tube, then transistor we have, then we had integrated circuit, then we can say large scale or the microprocessor, and after that we have ULSI, okay, ultra large scale. So these are all this component that we had, and we have also revised it through the question. ATMs are the example of general purpose computer, hybrid computer, analog computer, personal computer or special purpose computer. One thing you will have to understand with the ATM, we can do only one task. So these type of computers are the special purpose computer. Now, a compiler translate dash high level language to machine code to high level language, assembly to machine code, line by line translation, only Java program. The correct answer here will be option number A, that is high level language to machine code. This is the task of compiler. It converted high level language into the machine code by creating an executable file in between. Okay. Now, which of the following is not a high level language? Python, Java, C++, assembly, basic. So again and again, student, I have told you the question might seem like very difficult, but you will have to focus on option D, assembly language. Assembly language is the only low level language beside the computer. Okay, so assembly language you will have to remember. Now, which of the following correctly represent the data processing cycle? Input, output, processing storage, output, input processing, output storage, processing output, processing input output. The correct answer here, please do judge. First of all, what we do, we input the things. So option B can be cancelled, option E can be cancelled. After processing, after taking input, what happen? Our food go directly into our stomach where processing happen. So that is why in computer also, if input a data is fed once, what will happen? After that the information will be processed. After that the output will be generated. Once the result is out, the output is generated, then you will store it either on the temporary basis or the permanent basis. Okay. Now, machine language consists of what? Symbols, mnemonics, zeros, ones, procedure or high level statements. The correct answer here will be option C, that is zeros, ones. Okay. Keyboard, mouse, scanner, microphone, webcam are all the example of input devices. Which of the following is the main function of input device? Process data, store data permanently, data result, display result, manage output devices or convert user into machine readable form. The correct answer here will be, okay, so you will have to tell the function of input device. So input device, basically what it does, it convert the natural language into the machine language so that our machine can understand, process it and give result back to us. Okay. Now, Operating system is the example of what? Utility software, application software, network software, device software, or system software. Again, operating system, without it our computer cannot be switched on. Operating system is important like that. Operating system is something that controls your hardware, that is responsible for antivirus. So the correct answer will be option number option E. It basically run our system. Okay, so operating system is the system software. Last question. Which of the following is not an example of system software? Windows, Linux, device driver, MS Word, and Mac OS. So, which of the following is not an example of system software? So, system software we have discussed, they will help us to run the computer. So, among this, only MS Word is an application that is not the system software. This is basically application software. So, I hope till now you have enjoyed the class, you have understood everything that we have discussed. Now students, if you are preparing for NABARD Grade A examination, EduTap is offering some amazing courses that you can utilize to prepare. Let me show you. So this is basically NABARD Grade A 2025 Phase 1 Phase 2 live crash course that will help you to cover all the subjects for NABARD Grade A examination in very limited time, the time that you had. Okay, you will get the live classes, you will get solved PYQs, you will get chapter wise test here, you will get full length test here to test your preparation, and in between if you get any doubt you can solve it. Now to avail this particular course, you will be able to see the coupon code here. You just need to click on the buy now, and after that this payment page will open. Once this payment page is open, you had to note down the password the code of the coupon code here. Once you had it, you just need to click on here, you need to enter your details here, you need to put the coupon code here, and then you'll be able to see the price falling down. Okay, so if I apply this particular coupon, you can see the price will be reduced and you will be able to get the course in a okay, I have, okay, here see I have used the code and the prices have crashed down. Okay, so this is how you can buy the course. If you guys get any doubt in between, do feel free to ask us, and you can always contact us. So thank you so much.